Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the routine weekly briefing for Central North Carolina, covering the period from today, August 22nd, through Wednesday, August 28th. I am meteorologist Jimmy Danko, and let's get started. So first, looking at the upcoming weather pattern for Central North Carolina over the next week, it's looking pretty quiet overall. We have high pressure currently to our northeast that's bringing some cool and dry air into our area for the next few days, and temperatures will be below normal, though they will be slowly warming through the period. Highs today will only be in the upper 70s to low 80s, and lows tonight won't be quite as chilly as this morning, but will still drop into the 50s across Central North Carolina, which is around 7 to 10 degrees below normal. So then after that, temperatures will begin to warm further to above normal, with highs in the upper 80s to low 90s from Monday through Wednesday. And the increasing heat and humidity by that point will combine with the approach of a backdoor cold front from the north to maybe result in a return for some afternoon and evening showers and storms. At this time, they look to be pretty isolated, and it also really depends on where that front sets up. Somewhere it looks like over Virginia or northeast North Carolina, but we will see about that. Either way, it doesn't look like a washout during that period. So there's really no risk for severe storms the next several days. The Storm Prediction Center does have our southeast in just a risk for general thunderstorms on Saturday. This may be a little overdone, but we'll see. Not expecting widespread thunderstorms in this area on Saturday, but can't rule out an isolated shower or storm. Looking at the forecast rainfall amounts for the next 5 days from the Weather Prediction Center, looks pretty dry. Not really, there's actually no rain in the forecast at all from today through Monday across Central North Carolina. And flash flooding, of course, is not expected for the next really 5 days since we're expecting such little rainfall. Now looking at the drought update for the state, this was just released this morning, and it's for the period ending on Tuesday, August 20th. Really very little change from last week. Still have some D0 abnormally dry conditions in parts of the far western North Carolina and the mountains, which missed out on the heavier rainfall from Debbie, but still no D1 or greater conditions anywhere in the state, just some abnormally dry. As we have had pretty light rain last week, but it was still enough to really avoid any expansion of the dry conditions. And there's still plenty of moisture across the area from Debbie. Soil moisture levels are still high across the Triangle and Sand Hills. And all river gauges in the eastern parts of the state have fallen out of major flood. We still do have the Neuse River at Smithfield in minor flood stage for the next day or two due to releases. But otherwise, we're not experiencing any river flooding. And the tropics look very quiet at this time. So that's some good news. No activity is expected during the next 7 days across the Atlantic, but we are heading into the peak of the hurricane season. So still definitely don't want to let our guard down yet. The peak is in early to mid-September, climatologically. So looking at the 8 to 14-day outlook from the Climate Prediction Center, looks like we have a pretty good chance of above normal temperatures during that period. This is from August 29th to September 4th, 50 to 60% chance. But less of a signal for precipitation. Looks like equal chances for most of the area, but slightly increased chances of above normal precipitation across the east. And for reference, this time of year, normal, or for late August, early September, I should say, normal highs are in the mid 80s or so, with normal lows in the mid to upper 60s. And not really expecting much in the way of hazardous weather for the next week. Maybe again a small chance of a storm on Saturday, and then as we get into early next week again, especially by Wednesday, with increasing heat and humidity, there may be a better chance for some afternoon and evening showers and storms by that point. And heat indices will increase by Tuesday and Wednesday. Still doesn't look like really oppressive heat by any means, but still could have some heat indices. It looks like getting into the 90s, maybe mid to upper 90s by that point. So just to summarize here, we have cool conditions and dry for the next few days with high pressure in place, and then we'll continue a slow warming trend with highs getting up into the upper 80s to low 90s from Monday through Wednesday, and maybe a chance for some afternoon and evening showers and storms by that point, although it still looks like they will be pretty isolated, and not really expecting any widespread hazards or impacts at this time. All right, that concludes the weekly briefing. Thanks for listening.